listening to My Father Used to Say, live with Lady BOSE.
I don't know about you guys, but I'm excited. Welcome, 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 guys. My name is Lady BOSE, and you are live with me for my first episode of this season. My father used to say, thank you for tuning in, and happy Father's Day to all of you amazing, wonderful, loving, strong, long-suffering, courageous, vibrant, and strong and just awesome fathers, guys. I am so glad to be here with you. And we have so much in store to talk about. This is the very first time that I have even embarked on something so amazing as to take on a podcast that really just gives a platform to fathers all over the nation, all over the world, who are doing what they're supposed to do, and who also have had so many beautiful things, so many encouraging things and inspiring things that they have said that may not have made sense to us or may not have really been that impactful when you did say those wise words to us. But now that we are adults, now that we are living life adulting, we are finding out that your words have been very much an active part of our lives, and we operate based on what we remember you saying. Now, that doesn't mean that everybody has experienced this, but this is why this podcast is going to be super important and super, sensitive for those that may not relate but can learn and can get better if they are fathers and they're trying to get better at being really a mentor and really a leader in their homes and even for their children. So, happy Father's Day. Okay. So there's a lot to talk about. And it's so revolutionary, I would say, because this is not just a Father's Day. It's not just the first podcast for My Father Used to Say, but it's also my birthday. So fathers, yes, you're sharing my birthday with me today, June 20th. And it is my gift not only to myself, but to fathers that have really mentored and been a great part of my life. And of course, my biological father, Apostle Ajaka, is the inspiration for this. But guys, I don't want to get too far ahead. I want to talk about how this particular topic is going to run into the rest of the season. So for the first topic, the title is Leading Tomorrow's Fathers. Leading Tomorrow's Fathers. Well, who are we talking about? We're talking about, A1, A class men, fathers who have come before this generation and who truly do have something to give. That your time is not up. You're still alive. You're still breathing, and young men all over the world who are recently just getting married or who recently becoming fathers. It is super important for us to be able to know that they have someone to follow in their footsteps. You are still needed, you know. You are still much important in our lives, and we need you to continue to matter. And the only way that you're going to continue to matter is if you are giving a blueprint for the fathers to come. All right. And so new fathers need that blueprint, more seasoned mentors to give the mentorship or the leadership to where they can stand on their own and they can say, okay, it's time to make a change. And it's time to make a change for some of the other fathers who may not have picked up those pieces or who have made mistakes and they're still alive and they can turn it around. This platform is going to talk about so many topics. What I love about this vision, which I'll share with you later, is that it talks about fathers in a different way, because it's not just the biological fathers. There are fathers who have adopted. There are fathers who have, been able to, become a great type of like brotherly, or even like I would say, yeah, like a brotherly figure in these children's lives who may not have had that type of support. Maybe the father passed away, maybe the father is incarcerated, and these great men of God stepped up and took over and helped these children become who they are today. Now, some fathers that we will be interviewing, and some children that we will be interviewing, or adults who have become, so inspired by their fathers and things that they've helped them along with. We will be using the topics that they talk about, the stories that they share, really more like testimonials. We'll be using that to kind of encourage the listeners. And our audience is geared towards, positive messages. We want to pull in fathers, and we want to pull in even, young sisters and young brothers, and, working adults, working mothers, anybody who can say, you know what, maybe I can take some tips and take it along and share it with others. So this platform is very open to all. We're going to be talking about beauty, relationships, finance. We're going to be talking about everything, and how, whether your father said it or didn't, things that they did that have helped shape who you are today. So yeah, we can't really slow down. This is about to be something big, and I am just going with the flow. And I want to talk about what that vision was a few months ago, before I even took on this new path to begin a podcast. I still can't believe that I am sitting here with you guys this morning, because it's a lot, but I'm happy and I'm here, and it's time to talk about this vision that God gave me a couple of months ago. And he just kind of, dropped it in my spirit as I was cleaning my home. And he told me that, it isn't about necessarily a gender role, like, it's about fathers. So I thought a father should be the one leading the podcast. And he told me, he said, I gave you the vision, I dropped it in your spirit, and you are the perfect person to be a kind of like a channel, an additional channel to those who may need to just feel the encouragement of different fathers and different testimonials from, young adults and adults that have really learned from their fathers wonderful, parables, because we know that fathers really don't talk. Like a really good A1 type, seasoned man of God, whoever he is, he don't really talk a lot. He's very quiet spoken, just kind of calm, collective. And when he has something to say, oh, you're going to hear it. And it's going to be very short. It's not like how us women, we're kind of long winded. We want to explain, explain, explain. But as I know, my father used to say, he would just be like, behave yourself, go to school, do your work. And it was very straight and very, he'll tell me something like, don't worship, artists, because you're an artist yourself and you're amazing. So these kinds of things, when you hear it as a kid, you're thinking, that it's super important that, you get your voice heard. But they keep repeating the same things to you. And so when the vision came, he just told me, he said, I want you to do a podcast. And I want that podcast to be about what your father has said and how that has really, truly helped, you know? And it has helped. A lot of the things that I didn't understand about who he was and his story and his struggle and why he spoke so sternly to me, why there was so many times I wanted him to elaborate. And my mom would step in and say, that's not what he's going to do. But what he meant was. And I would always say, but I still want to hear that from him. Even though he was in the home, right? There was still a disconnect because of the type of man that he was. But as time went, as time grew, as time healed some of even my misunderstandings, right? And it also healed him because he didn't necessarily have, the type of father role that would have been very beneficial to also help his children along. So he kind of had to pick up the pieces and learn on his own, to be honest. And with the direction of God, he was able to give those short parable type of, teachings. And even though they didn't make sense at the time, I'm telling you, it's the way I live my life now. And of course, you kind of sift through, the parents and the wisdom that they give you. But because he is an apostle of God, I truly have seen where the blessings to have someone that was stern and sure of what he was saying and wasn't going to move, how that really has benefited me today. And so I wasn't ready to take on the task, but God told me, He said, if you want this vision that I've dropped in your spirit to flourish, you've got to bring in other people that have something to say about their father, whether good, bad, indifferent. You need to give them that platform. And we're here, guys. This is it. So I'm not going to say that this platform will cater to everybody because I can't necessarily know that. But what I can say that it will cover a lot of topics, like I said before, and these topics will relate to the majority. Um, I don't necessarily know how we are going to interview, but my goal for you guys is to make sure that you feel free to, email us at myfatherused2say@gmail, or you can sending a nice IG message to my father used to say on my IG handle or our IG handle. And then you can also, if anything, call in. And when you call in, that would be through IG. So sometimes, or even Instagram, sometimes we will be able, you can, type in a comment or two and let us know that you are interested in being on the show. And we will be releasing the podcast each week. So we are looking for people to interview. I have a few lineups myself, but I don't want to release too much of the good stuff. What we also are looking for is sponsors. We need sponsors. And one of the reasons why sponsorship is so important is because that helps not only to get us out there, but to also showcase and to highlight some of the great, small businesses that are in town. All right. And last but not least, because this is not a long podcast, this is more of my intro to you guys to let you know what's coming, to let you know what day it is. Father's Day. It's a great day to start something beautiful like this. And that is my birthday, but more so just to get you guys talking about this, because this is something that I'm going to need as many supporters out there as possible to help our fathers have this platform to feel loved, appreciated, accepted. Man, the world is going absolutely nuts right now, and the fathers that are out there don't even know where to turn. And the fathers that have come before are kind of disappointed with the generation that's coming up. But remember, they've learned from somewhere. And if you haven't been in the home, the generation before, then this is kind of like what we're dealing with now, but I am hopeful and I am beginning to see, small little bits and pieces of hope where there are fathers that are stepping up, young fathers, and we don't want to lose that momentum. So I'm pleading with you guys to please, reach out to me. And, if there are things that have encouraged you about your father and about maybe a mentor that served as a father figure in your life, please, please, please reach out and let us know. And that's pretty much it. I've covered everything. I want to first and foremost say thank you to those who have pushed me along and had those long meetings to get me started for this podcast. And hey, it's the just the beginning. So we're not going to slow down. Please, please, please know your support is needed. And I know that with God, all things are possible. Thank you guys, and I look forward to speaking with you next week on our second episode. I'm not going to tell you what that is because I want you guys to keep on tuning in via Instagram and via YouTube, anywhere where you see our My Father Used to Say flyer. Please tune in and see what is coming up, okay? All right, guys, I got to get out of here. It's my birthday. I'm going to continue doing what I do. You know how it is. All right, it's your girl, Lady BOSE. Thank you. And